Hello, good people. So last video, we went over the 4 pillars of a data analyst or data scientist's skill set. Now, this is going to be part 2 of a 3-part video. And what we're going to go over now is how to evaluate where you land on each pillar. So that means that we're going to take a look across the 4 pillars and across 5 levels and what it takes to get to each level and what each level means. And so let's dive right into this. And as we go through this video, think about where your skill set lands. Now, there's no right answer for where it is. We're all growing. I'm continuing to growing as well. And yeah, let's see where we are. All right. So let's take a look here. Now, you can see here that I have a lot of really fancy presentation skills. I'm using some rectangles to cover up certain parts of the screen, but here we go. So last video, we looked at the 4 pillars of the data skill sets, and what we have, let me make this just a little bit smaller for us. Beautiful. So we have the 4 pillars of the data skill set here. Now, what we want to do is we want to see, okay, well, where am I with data handling, business strategy, statistical analysis, and then visualization and storytelling? And so that's what we have on this first slide here. All right, so let's start with data handling. What does it mean to be at level 1? Now, what we're going to look at here is a bar that you need to reach in order to accomplish that level or finish that level, okay? So, and also keep in mind, this might be a little bit of a lengthy video because we're going to go through 25 different sections. I'll make sure that each one's brief. So first of all, for level 1, for data handling, you can view and edit a single small tabular data set. In English, this basically means you can work an Excel file. Now, with data handling, this means you can open the Excel file and you can manipulate the rows and columns. It may sound easy, but to a lot of folks, this may be difficult, and this is actually just level 1 here, okay? Level 2 is going to be you understand pivoting data sets in depth. You're able to join, summarize data, and you're comfortable with exploratory data analysis. So this means that you're given multiple data sets, you can combine them, you can pivot them, and you can do some basic EDA or exploratory data analysis. Level 3 is you can create your own customized tools via Python or R, or whatever language you want. These tools are created once and work for you. You can also handle data sets that are larger than 1 million data points. Now, the reason why this threshold of 1 million data points is used here is because Excel has a limit of 1 million rows within the data set. So say you're given a data set with 2 million rows. What would you do for it? Well, this is where your data handling skill comes into set here. Now, the other key point here is that this is when you're using Python or R or whatever language you want to create your own tools. So think of this as creating macros in Excel, but the next level up, because with Python and R, you can create amazingly custom tools, customized tools, and they work once and you can work them for you, which is great. Now level 4. So not only can you create your own tools, but you can automate your tools, both the collection and analysis, to work while you sleep. You understand distributed analysis and optimizations. So the key parts here is 1, you can automate your own work. And then 2 is you understand how to do distributed computing or distributed analysis, meaning you'll have a whole bunch of different computers working for you. Not only that, you've graduated up from the brute force default type of analysis here, meaning you know how to optimize your own work. Okay. Now level 5, this intention is to be, this is where the Jedi Master is going to sit. This is where if you get to this level, you're good to go. You don't really need to worry much more about this level or about this data track. Level 5 is you're creating data systems you're creating data services that act as services for others. You're able to architect and implement data pipelines for organizations. So now we've gone way past just the handling phase, but you're actually creating data architecture for organizations and to enable others to work on top of. So think of this as you're more creating systems rather than just manipulating a single CSV on your local machine. Okay. So that is the data handling track. Okay. Now, what I want to do here, just get my place again. So now what we want to do is we want to go to the next track. And the next track is going to be, this is around business strategy. So if data manipulation is just all about how do you handle the data, business strategy is around creating impact with your data. Okay, so think of this as if you're a business analyst and you're starting to step up the chain a little bit more. All right, so for level one, you can solve simple counting business questions. So this means, hey, please go count how many users did X. Please count how many people were active in our app yesterday. Super simple, one right answer, very, we'll call it the path is easy to get to the answer for this one. All right. So level two for business strategy is you're able to be given a task with clear instructions from a stakeholder, gather feedback, and report back. So think of this as expanding your problem set just a little bit more, and you're given a task, and you can actually go and find the data, manipulate it how you need to, and then report back on what it is that you were asked to do. Now, level three is you're given problems to solve, not tasks to do. You're autonomous in your work and are graded by the business impact you create. So the big step up from here is you're no longer giving tasks. Hey, go and find me this. You're given problems. Our churn rate is too high. Now, what your job to do is to take that problem and actually translate it into tasks, which is a pretty hard thing to do in the first place. Or I shouldn't say hard, but it's more of a soft skill that takes some time to learn because it's up to you on what you work on, and you better be making sure that you work on the most, we'll call it high priority thing. Okay. Now, level four is you can interact, translate, and execute executive requests, meaning from your founders or from your execs, into tactical steps for a data team. Oh, actually, I want to emphasize the team part. For a data team to work on. You're no longer doing data, you're solving business problems. The big step up from here is now you can hear requests from an executive standpoint, which are usually very broad and vague in the first place, and you're able to translate those into steps for a data team to work on. So this means other analysts or other data scientists. Now, level five, you are the data leader. You are faced with an open market and must identify problems, translate them into projects, and support various data and non-data teams to carry them out. Looks like you make data-driven organizations. So the big step here is now you're finding the problems. You're not being told the problems. You're finding the problems, you're measured on results, and you need to enable other non-data teams to be able to make data-driven decisions. Okay? Just bring this in just a little bit. So non-data driven decisions or data-driven decisions. Okay. Let's make sure that this is over here. Great. Next one that we are going to review is the statistical analysis piece. So if you remember from our last video, this is around the whole, like kind of more of the tactical and hard skills of data science and data analysis. So level one for this one is you can use mean, median, mode, and standard deviation to analyze a data set. So another way to put this in English is you can do basic descriptive statistics on top of a numerical data set. Okay. Level two, you understand distribution types and you have a solid grasp on probabilities, expected values, and hypothesis testing. So if mean, median, and mode were level one, understanding distribution types and hypothesis testing is level two. So this is actually just peeling back a layer on top of your numbers and kind of looking at the larger picture of your data set. Level three, you have a working understanding of most machine learning algorithm types, clustering, classification, NLP, and regressions. Just regression and regression. This means that you've now graduated up from your basic descriptive statistics and you're onto the algorithms. So these are going to be to uncover hidden patterns within your data set, but it's also going to be a bit more advanced of a use case for you to pull out analysis or pull out insights from there. Okay. Level four, you can comfortably maneuver advanced machine learning disciplines. You've mastered tuning hyperparameters to each use case. This means that not only are you using algorithms this time, but you're also tuning the algorithms specific to your exact use case. And you're not just plugging away numbers on an IPython notebook. You actually know what these hyperparameters do and how they're going to be helping you. Now, level five, what does it mean? It means that you don't use algorithms, You create and optimize them. You're doing cutting edge research on to advance a specific field, meaning you're not just taking your standard library's algorithms, you're actually creating your own or manipulating or customizing the libraries in order to create and optimize them for your specific use case. Okay. Now let's go to the last one. I'm just gonna put this away. Great. Let's go to the last one here. So it's going to be around visualization and storytelling. This is communicating data. So from our last video, what communicating data means is, great, you have this really good insight and you worked really hard on it and you did some amazing thing. But if you don't tell anybody about it or the message isn't communicated effectively, nobody's going to take action on your insight. And visualization and storytelling is all about how do you get this idea into somebody else's head. Okay. Level 1 is you can create bar, line, and scatter plot with a series of data. So this means that you can actually take some data and actually visually produce a graph on top of it. Now, a bar, line, and scatter plot are simple graphs, but they're very powerful if they're used in the right way and annotated in the right way. So this is level 1, basic charting. Level 2 is you're able to take a data point, extract its meaning, and tailor a message to your audience in their language. Now, what you'll see here is we're not just talking about data visualizations anymore. We're talking about storytelling and communicating your data to your audience. Now, the important points here is tailor a message. The reason being is because data isn't the important part. What the data means to your audience is the important part. And that's why you want to put it in their language. Level 3. You're able to craft an entire message to advance your cause. This is made up entirely of a data story versus just a single data point. What this means is more traditionally is you're able to put together a data story, whether in a video, a slide deck, or a narrative, say a speech or a presentation or something like that. And this is going to be not just one data point. You're not just saying that, hey, churn is up because of this. You're really putting together the entire picture of the analysis and project that you're working on in the message of your audience. Next, for level 4, you mix data and design to create beautiful charts. Beautiful and impactful charts. You will go beyond what the data says and incorporate how your audience will feel. And so this is really pushing the boundaries on your data and really inspiring a visceral reaction in your audience to benefit the cause or the mission that you're trying to derive in the first place. And then the very last one, which I'll just delete this, you motivate and inspire others to take action on your data. You're able to create a story arc with your data that spans multiple presentations. So now we're not just talking about one data presentation, but we're really talking about the arc of a story throughout a timeline, and you're able to inspire action in others to get them to do what you need them to do based off of what your data says. And this is level 5 of the visualization and storytelling. You can really think of this as maybe, the famous Simon talk on Start With Why in TED Talks. That presentation, that abstracts completely around the edge of the story and really abstracts up to inspire action within the audience there. Now, these are the 4 data tracks with the 4 skill sets and different levels to go, or leveling guide across each one. In the next video, what we're going to talk about is actually, well, great, these are the levels that I see here, but how do I get to each level? And that is where we actually dive into each one of these different skill sets and look at what you need to do to get to data level 1 for each one of the different pillars here. For example, for data handling level 1, we take a look here. These are the skills that we recommend that somebody gets. And then if they do these, well, then they're going to be securely placed in level 1 and they can move on to level 2 and just go up the chain. Okay. So we'll talk about this in the next video, and stay tuned.